Right, so I thought I'd talk about today about basically 5 things in a way to for your first gig. Tips I would have as a professional musician and a promoter on your first gig and what you should be looking at doing. So number 1, I think it's the most important one, is get a contract. Why do I say get a contract? Well, in the contract you'll have all details such as loading in time, sound check, time you're going on stage, time you got to load out, audience numbers, things like this, like the rider, and most importantly, how much you're going to be getting paid. So number 1, contract, because it's got all the details, and at the end of the day, it's going to tell you how much you're going to be getting paid for your first gig, which I think is massively important. The second thing I'm going to say, which is number 2, is get a list of which equipment the promoter and other people can be supplying, because you don't want to be turning up and using, them saying, hey, it's going to be an amplifier. Cool, get specifics. Such as, what amplifier is it? You don't want to be turning up and using a practice amp. And what I mean by that is, you don't want to be showing up and they're not provided adequate equipment. You need to know also what equipment you need to be bringing. Because, again, for example, amplifiers, what amp are they going to be providing? Is it going to be suitable for your sound or not? And again, for drummers especially, who's providing the drum kit? Is there going to be a drum kit? Are you going to have to bring your own? This is stuff that you need to know for your first gig, because I've had people show up before. One of them said they're going to be bringing the kit. Cool, that's all being sorted. They show up, they're not. That person was responsible for bringing the drum kit. So next and third thing I'm going to say is make sure you've got your own equipment sorted. What do I mean by that? I mean, right, you don't want to be throwing brand new guitar strings on at the gig just in case, or even going to the gig with old guitar strings on, because it's a fact they're more likely to break old guitar strings. Sorry, but it's true. So what I'm saying is, a couple of nights before, change your strings, let them loosen up, but then like the night before or even that morning, make sure your equipment is sorted, working. You don't want to be showing up with equipment that's not working, so pre-check your equipment, and if possible, if you haven't got one, somehow get your hands on a second guitar, because I'm going to say, just in case string breaks, second guitar is useful. Again, drummers, make sure you've got enough drumsticks, make sure equipment's working, same for bass players and vocalists. Rest your voice, because that is your equipment. Just be prepared with your equipment, make sure it's in working order before you go to the gig, because you don't want to be showing up with something that's not working. So the fourth thing I'm going to talk about is transport. Sounds really weird, but make sure everyone has transport to the gig from it, because you're going to be playing late at night. If your friend's getting a bus to the gig with their guitar, or even a vocalist, one of the bandmates is, make sure they have transport home, because at the end of the day, that's going to be what you're going to be spending your money on as well. So if one of you drives, or 2 of you drive, load your equipment into one car, then have the other car for other people transport to the gig. Nice and simple, it's transport. And finally, number 5, promote your gig. Promote it to everyone you can, because this is your first gig, and best idea is to make a good impression, especially with the promoter and the other bands, because if you bring people in more than they have or other such, and it's your first gig, more likely is they're going to want to work with you again. So if you can bring a large audience, more chance is you're going to get a 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th gig. So that's promote, is number 5. So let's go back over it. We have contracts as number 1. Number 2, we have equipment. Number 3, make sure you get your equipment in line. Number 4, we have transport. Number 5, we have promotion. So these are my 5 tips to help make your first gig a success. Hope these help you guys. Please like, subscribe and leave a comment below. Catch you next time.